It's Wednesday, August 30th, 2023, all day. And this morning, or last night, was a full moon, the second full moon of August, which qualifies it as being a blue moon, I believe, by the definition of what that is. So, anyway, I took the usual small video and a couple photographs. Um, it's part of my personal habit or routine or ritual. But I don't know. When the sky is clear and the moon is there, I will tend to look up at it, and you know, it's interesting. It's our nearest celestial uh, neighbor, and it's like our sun. It's our closest star, and how cool is that? It's a star. How often do we actually stop and just contemplate exactly what that is, and how many there are, how far away, the vastness of the cosmos and such. It's like just, it's mind-boggling. Just thinking about our relative speed. It's like right now I'm sitting still, but the planet is spinning at so fast. I don't know the technical velocity of how fast the Earth spins, but if like relative, I'm sitting still, but you know the speed of the Earth spinning, it's like that's thousands upon thousands of miles per hour, I'm sure. And then the speed of the Earth flying around the sun. Who knows how? I don't know, but I'm guessing it's probably significant. But and then how fast our solar system is flying about our our galaxy, and then how fast our galaxy is flying about our universe. And yeah, we're moving pretty fast, even though I'm sitting still. We're all moving at high velocity. We're just not aware of it. Yeah, because perspective and all sorts of physics. Darn you, physics, making a fool of me. But physics will do that. It'll make fools of us all in the end. Physics always wins. Except when you bend the rules. But then we just change what the laws are to accommodate what the apparent reality is. So anyway, I was talking about consequences in my latest short that I will upload later this evening. And I was thinking of it in terms of, I'm okay to, do whatever I want, say whatever I want, as long as I'm okay with, or at least accept what results, what consequences happen, and whether I recognize that I had something to do with it, or something I did or said led, or to something that happened later. It might be just causation or correlation, and it might be totally unrelated for all I know. But I try to be pretty mindful about what I'm doing and what I'm saying and how I'm acting and my attitude, because I'm the one that has to live with it. Even if it has nothing to do with me or anything I did or anything I said. If I even think that something had to do with me or what I said or did, then I can use that as ammunition against myself, and beat myself up or tear myself down and feel like at fault or to blame, and or it could be the opposite, where it's like I associate myself in a positive way with something that I had nothing to do with, and I start to claim credit for something that I didn't do and I didn't say, and what good was resulted would have happened regardless. my supposed intervention. So I guess it's a way that I can feel better about myself for how little actual influence or control I have over the world around me. But I need something, even those little wins, now and again, even if I didn't directly have any say in it, or it's like I need something. So I'll take it. But a lot of times, if I want to actually have a win, I'm the one that needs to create it, and take those actions, be the change, as it's said, which I didn't come up with. I didn't coin it. I don't know who did. I don't think anybody can actually claim credit on that one, because it's probably been used, or probably was said many times and by many people towards many situations and contexts around the globe throughout history. And be the change has probably been used for not so nice things. And but it's in the context of today. I think a lot of people, when they say it, they mean relatively good things, progressive things. That change is good, as long as we're being wary of what we're changing into, I suppose. But hindsight, of course, is always 2020. We don't know now what we're going to know later. But anyway, back to consequences. As long as I'm willing to live with the consequences, then I'm okay. I might not understand the consequences or even like the consequences, but if I accept them, then yeah, being responsible and taking accountability, and with that, learning from whatever consequences, and not trying to what is it? When you try to make something seem less than, minimize. Not trying to minimize things, so to save face, to preserve ego, and to make it so it's like, well, it's not my fault. If there's some responsibility, it's like, accept. Oh yes, I did that. Oh yeah, that was not good, and yeah. So not minimizing consequences to make them seem less than. If I've hurt somebody's feelings or something like that, then I need to recognize that, yeah. And I shouldn't, then try to make the other person feel, as though they are at fault for having feelings in the first place for me to hurt. No. I take responsibility and appropriate measures to try to account for and be considerate of and sensitive to the needs of others, where I can figure them out in the first place. Because sometimes I might be hurting people's feelings without even knowing it, because I'm just, I try to respect other people, but a lot of times the way I respect other people is by leaving them alone. My not talking to people is my being nice to them. But a lot of people, they think I'm just a little bit mean for not talking and not, doing the standard greetings and standard, asking, how are you, and things like that, and the chit chat and small talk and things like that most people around me seem to enjoy and engage in on the regular, but I don't, and I don't want to. I'm usually just fairly involved in what I'm doing. And it's like, I could stop what I'm doing and, talk to other people, which I do from time to time, but in limited capacity. But it's an exercise, and it can be kind of draining to try to have those types of conversations, because I'm just not good at them. I've never been, and I don't expect to ever be good at them. But anyway, I got distracted. It happens. And I guess getting back to learning from the consequences of my words and my actions and my attitude. I work on trying to like my consequences. And as far as like my life goes, yeah, I don't like everything about my life, but who does? But I wouldn't know how to go about changing much. I can work on myself and try to make better choices, but what choices do I make, and how they end up, I guess standing up for my own self and my right to be who it is I am, and not trying to be compliant for the sake of not causing argument. It's like, if I don't like something, and I don't have to tolerate it. Because a lot of times I worry over setting a precedent that if I allow it one time, then I must be okay with it or something. And then it's like later on, if I just all of a sudden, or not even all of a sudden, but just start letting on that it's starting to bother me, then people think, well, they were okay with it. I'm not okay with it now. And maybe I was never okay with it, but I was just allowing it, or not minding it, or making a fuss over it, because I'll just deal with it, because that's how I usually do things. I just deal with things. And it doesn't mean I like it. It doesn't mean I'm happy about it, but it just means I'm acknowledging that I'm powerless to have anything to say about it. But I do make choices, and I have made choices in the past to better my situation by stopping certain behaviors and patterns. And other people don't like it. They like it when I am predictable, and they like me enough that they want me to continue to do what I'm doing until they are okay with me not. But that doesn't work for me. And I have to stand up for myself and make better choices for myself, regardless of what people around me might prefer. And it might not make me popular, but I don't really care about that. And people can think what they like, say what they like, but they're going to do that anyway. And I've made some fairly enigmatic decisions. They made sense to me, and they still do, and I stand by them. And I feel better for not participating in some of the activities that I was participating in before. I'm thinking directly and specifically about recovery type activities and meetings. I used to travel a fair ways to attend a few different meetings on a few different days with a few different groups. And over the years, I began to feel less and less I was having problems with individuals and ideas, and it felt like I was just kind of saying what I thought people would like me to say to support and validate and lend credibility and lend legitimacy to their agendas. It didn't help me so much, except I got to feel okay about making other people feel okay about their choices. But it was taking more and more out of me, and I was getting less and less out of it. And I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid that they would try to convince me that I was wrong. Wrong to think what I thought, wrong that I felt what I feel, and that they are right, and I should do what they want, and just ignore my own thoughts, ignore my own feelings, and just keep doing what I'm doing, and do what they say. Yeah. And it's like, no. And I didn't explain myself. I didn't say that I was going to stop. I just stopped, and I didn't give any warning. Though there were warnings. Because I feel like a lot of people, if I understand my own rationale and my thought process, how I arrive at decisions and choices over time. I don't all of a sudden make some choice to do this or not do that. It takes me time. It's an accumulative decision. And it can be formed by, an aggregate amount of stress or anxiety or frustration or anger or despair or any number of things, or combination of a lack of respect. And, I can feel a little bit guilty or a little bit sad over not being able to be the person that they wanted me to be for them. Because I think I was at first, because I was playing along. But then slowly over time, it was getting to be exhausting to continue to play along and to stay the same and to attempt to, continue to be deferential to others, and to not I didn't want to go anymore. It was just too difficult to maintain and kind of pretend at being sick. And it's like part of the logic in recovery is the sicker you are, the better off you are. Because then you'll keep coming back. Because as soon as a person thinks that they're okay or thinks that they're well, then they'll probably start to think that they don't need to go any longer or attend meetings or be a part of recovery. And that's when they might get into trouble because they face a situation where they don't know what to do, and they are emotionally compromised, and they are on their own. because they stopped going to meetings and participating in recovery. And they might find themselves resorting to whatever it is that they used to you know, turn to. Um, in my case, that was alcohol, and but for me, it's like I mean, I'm not immune, um, but I do know that if I ever do or choose to drink again, I could easily you know become more than a habit, and you know relapse back into the same behavioral patterns and trends that I was on before. And yeah, I'm not really looking for that. So I like my ability to, I like my freedom and how it used to be for me for a long time. I don't know. That's a whole different recording. It just takes a long time. And it takes me to a mental place that I can't easily get there. And it takes me a long time to get back. So I try not to just brush across the surface. But it's like I know that is a hole, and it's like I can't just talk about it because it requires a lot of effort. And it's not that I avoid it or hide it. It's just, it's it's something I cannot just ever take less seriously. It is irrevocably impacted everything, and how I came to be, how it is the way I am now. It's like I wouldn't have been. So it's like I owe a debt of gratitude to my alcohol abuse and dependence. Maybe even just because of the neural pathways that were destroyed and the ones that were created to replace them. And the personality of the person that used to be here, and then the personality of the person that's here now. Just the whole neural architecture. And it's like I don't remember all the things that I've forgotten. I'd like to think that I didn't forget all that much, but how would I know? And it's scary. And it's like I never came back all the way. Part of me got left behind. And so it's like when people in recovery or at the meetings or some of the people that I used to see on a regular basis, they don't know what it was like for me. They know what it was like for them. They know what it was like for people like them. They don't know what it was like for me. And they also don't know anything about my being autistic. I only ever told a couple people. But I think because I don't present in a typical autistic manner, how people have stereotypes and predispositions based on TV and film and media representations of what autistic people look like, what they sound like, and how they act. People failed to associate me with that identity. They just adopted me like I was just exactly like them, and treated me exactly like them, which early on I could accept and manage. But then as I began to learn more about my identity and my right to be myself, I couldn't wear their assigned mask. I couldn't wear their assigned costume and be there on demand when they wanted to perform my show. It was becoming just that, a performance piece, a masquerade. And they liked it. And I guess they figured that I liked it too. And maybe for a time I did. And for a time I needed it. But as I've said somewhere else, at some other time, they might not be less without me, but I have felt to be more without them. And it's not to speak badly about everybody, but it's just a few individuals that their personal agendas countermanded what I was doing and who I am. It felt as though their principal motivation was to dominate those around them, to become like some sort of leader or something. And it's like, people only have so much power as what other people give to them. And all of it's just an illusion anyway. But anyway, I got a little bit too distracted and a little bit too serious for my liking. I don't know what it looks like, but here we are. I don't really feel good about this one. But there it is. People are free to make their own determinations of what they think life is about, just as I am. And no one can really say who's right, whose version of life is better, and what qualifies as being correct, what value and merit and worth. So I guess it's up to the individual to decide what life is about, what is worth living for, what is worth fighting for. So anyway, I guess I should wrap it up. I probably need to take a nap. It was a long day at work, and I've just kind of been That's it. I don't have anything else.